Hello everybody, this is Yoko's Anime Reactions, and this is going to be my review for My Hero Academia Season 5, Episodes 24 and 25. Could somebody tell me why Shigaraki's hair changes colors? Because when he was a kid and he used his quirk the first time, it turned blue. This time, when he is able to, upgrade his quirk and how he uses it in his fight against Destro, it turns white. Is that connected or something? And also, did his voice change? Because it sounds like it changed. It's not as raspy as it was before. It's more... Shoot, how would I explain it? It's different, is all I can say, essentially. But, yeah, now... Shigaraki managed to kick his butt in the process, and now the guy is absolutely terrified of Shigaraki, and I don't blame him one bit. So, now Shigaraki is the leader of the... Shoot, what do they call it now? It's not the Meta Liberation Army, it's the Paranormal Liberation something, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. That was the entirety of episode 24, and how Shigaraki had met All For One, how he got raised to be destructive, and how he started killing people, using his quirk and everything. And it makes me wonder what would have happened had... For example, one of the heroes had found Shigaraki before All For One had. Would Shigaraki have turned out to be a possible hero in the future? Or would he still have gone down the villain path? We will never know. Anyway, yeah, all that happens. And, thankfully, I don't know if I should say thankfully, Toga survives her injuries. Though for some strange old reason, she's wearing an eye patch, and then later on, she's not. So, I don't know. Anyway, it appears as though Twice got over his trauma from before, wondering whether he was the original Twice, or if he was one of the clones. But now, apparently, he's gotten a little worse in the head, to where he has more voices talking to him. Oh boy. Anyway, shoot. Episode 25. Hawks appears to have killed Bastinus, though I actually ended up spoiling myself later on something that happens, showing that Bastinus is actually alive, or survived whatever Hawks did to him. So now he is a part of the Paranormal Liberation, whatever the heck they're called. And, yeah, he's now hoping, essentially, that what he's done to try and stop things, giving the book to Endeavor and trying to get inform other heroes of what's going on, that can, put a stop to this before it gets too out of hand, or else goodbye Japan, possibly. Or rather, goodbye to the way of Japan that they know right now. Although, I wouldn't put it past Shigaraki to try and destroy Japan with his quirk. It would not surprise... I wouldn't put it past him, essentially. Anyway, everybody has been working on their ultimate moves, new moves, and everything, and it appears as though Midoriya is getting more in control of Black Whip, because it appears as though he can use it at the very least for 1 or 2 seconds. Maybe not at full capacity, obviously, but he's getting there. It's like his full cowling. He can use it in spurts of certain percentages to use it without breaking his bones in the process. Or, God only knows what would have happened had he used it 100%, because we don't know what it did to his body. Later on, All Might, Midoriya, and Bakugo are having one of their meetings, and All Might gives Midoriya a booklet that has notes on the previous holders of One for All and their quirks. And it turns out that each person that got One for All was just, someone that the person had deemed, the one before them had deemed worthy enough to have the quirk. And apparently their quirks are not very good, at least according to Bakugo. For example, the Black Whip guy, his is good, to be completely honest. That could be used in a variety of ways. For example, you could use Black Whip to grab a piece of debris and fling it at some enemies. You could do it that way. Or you could do it like, capturing people and stuff. But anyway, apparently they weren't able to gather information on the second or the third users of One for All because, well, very hard, I'm guessing, to get information on them from way back when. And All Might wants Midoriya to try and manifest one of the other quirks, and he ends up picking the one that his master had, Nana Shimura, which was Float. Really? Midoriya's gonna now fly? How is he gonna explain that to everybody? How is he gonna explain all this? He can't just keep saying that it's a facet of my quirk. They're gonna get suspicious at some point because nobody's quirk has that many differences to it. Now, Todoroki's is an exception because his is a combination of both his parents' quirks. Now, if it was just Super Strength and Black Whip, then he might be able to get away with it because of, parents. But I don't think he's going to be able to do that once he starts manifesting Float and the other ones as well. Someone's going to get suspicious. And then people are going to start doing some digging, especially into Midoriya's family tree, possibly, because that's would be the obvious choice as to where to look on Midoriya's family's quirks. And then they're going to see, apparently, his father breathes fire. We still have no information on this guy. What was his name? Shoot. I know his last name was Midoriya. I just don't know what his first name was. I can't remember. For some reason I'm thinking it was Hisashi or something. And then Inko, she's got the ability to move small objects towards her. You could kind of argue Black Whip could do that, but then again, hers is more like telekinesis, essentially. We don't know anything about Midoriya's grandparents, or his great-grandparents, or any other possible family members at this point that he could possibly get quirks from. Because it wouldn't surprise me if that ends up happening where you get, like, let's say your grandfather's quirk instead of your parents' quirk or something, and like it skips a generation. So, yeah, he's gonna have a lot to explain. And I wish Midoriya good luck on trying to manifest the other quirks. Because he seems to have a slightly decent hold on Black Whip. And Bakugo's really, really weird in this situation when he finds out what Midoriya's trying to get next. Claiming essentially, I've been doing that for years with my quirk. You are going to have you won't be able to catch up to me. Blah, 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 blah. And the face he makes when he's doing that, I'm like, oh god, Bakugo, what's wrong with you? And apparently, Eri is having some issues with her quirk, and it's making her horn itch, where it's like sparking up there. It's not glowing, but it's sparking, like it's trying to come to the surface, essentially. And apparently, they're gonna start her quirk training in like a few weeks or something, which good. That'd be something good to do for season 6. And shoot, what else happens? Obviously, before that, Aizawa and President Mike were going over, what are we going to do when we find out who's been making all the Nomus. And President Mike his comment, he was obviously still upset about the whole thing, but his comment of inviting them all to a karaoke party and then blowing out their eardrums with his voice, oh yeah, I would love to see that. But, yeah, oh boy. they end up having a really nice time at dinner for the class at one point, and for some reason, All Might's sitting outside, and apparently he had lost his motivation for living at some point because he decided at one point that he was going to live, and because he couldn't think of how he was going to help the kids get any stronger because, he can't fight anymore. But Aizawa told him essentially that your presence is enough to motivate them. And later, in I'm guessing a preview for season 6, showing a little kid going to first grade. Is that something in the near future or the very far off future? If it's in the very far off future, it makes me wonder who the kid is. If it's in the near future, still wonder. And the others are going on some kind of mock mission where, they have to evacuate people and stuff. Oh boy. Anyway, if I missed anything important, please let me know, and I will see you all next time in Season 6.